Hello and good afternoon everybody, welcome back to another video. So for today's Stitch Saturday I thought that I'd share with you how to create the ripple stitch. So you can see that this stitch creates a nice wave ripple pattern as you go along the work, and I thought I'd share with you this so that you can create your own projects in the future. This would be a really nice baby blanket or just blanket in general, and also any other projects that you'd like to create. Before we start, don't forget to follow me on Instagram. I'm at hooks.andneedles1 and I share more exclusive content along with during the week and also at the weekend. So let's get started on this new stitch. So for this I've just got a plain or different coloured blue marble yarn. I'm going to use a corresponding hook 4mm and also a pair of scissors to cut off my ends. So if you find the end of your ball of yarn, which I'm struggling with, there we go, I haven't used this yarn in a while actually, so there we are. So if you find your end, and we're going to begin by making a slip knot. So you can do this in whichever way you like. If you are a beginner, I do have videos in my previous videos. So if you go into my channel and just scroll down, you'll see how to create the slip knot and also how to do treble crochets, which is the stitch that we're going to learn today. So insert your hook and you're going to make your foundation chain. So for this stitch we're going to chain multiples of 12 along with an extra +3, which will be our turning / first stitch. So chain of 12 or multiple of 12 +3, so there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. So that's my first multiple of 12, and I'm going to be chaining just 2 multiples of 12 because I'm doing a sample piece at the moment. So chain the width of your project and add an extra 3 chains onto the end. So here I've just chained 2 multiples of 12, so 24, and I'm just going to do my extra 3 for my first treble crochet that we're going to use. So to begin our first row of the ripple blanket or ripple stitch, we're going to skip the first 3 chains. So we don't count the chain on the hook, and we're going to count 1, 2 and 3, and we're going to insert our hook into this 4th chain here. So we're going to do a treble crochet into this 4th chain. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over again, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Again, if you're struggling with treble crochets, don't worry, just go and check out my beginner tutorial on how to learn how to create these treble crochets. So this actually counts as our first increase, which will become a little bit more clear as we carry on our work. So the next thing you're going to do is do 1 treble crochet in the next 3 chains. So yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Again. And our third one, okay, so now we're going to create the dip of our ripple blanket. So if I just show you here, we're going to be creating this dip right here, and to do this, as you can see, we're treble crocheting 2 together. So don't worry if you've never done this before, I will quickly show you. So into the next chain, we're going to start our treble crochet. So yarn over and insert your hook into the next chain space. Yarn over and pull through so you have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through 2. Now to treble crochet 2 together, we leave these last 2 stitches on our hook there and move on to our second treble crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook into the next chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and now you should have 3 loops on your hook. To complete our treble crocheting 2 together, you're yarning over and pulling through all 3 of those loops, and we need to do 2 of these. So we've got our first one, now moving on to our second one. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 and leave those 2 there, yarn over, insert into the next chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and to complete, yarn over, pull through all 3. So now we have our dip in our work, and the next thing that we're going to do is work up to our kind of rise. So to do this, we're only going to do 1 treble crochet into the next 3 chain space. So 1, 2 into the next chain, and the third into the third chain. Now in our ripple stitch, we now have a rise that we need to complete. So if I show you here, this is what we've just done, our 2 trebles together, then we've worked our 3, and then we're going to make our rise. And to do this, you want to do 2 treble crochets into the same chain space. So to do this, yarn over and work a treble into that next chain space, and then instead of moving on to our next chain space, we're going to do a treble in that exact same chain space, and there you should have 2 trebles in the same space. And we're going to do another set of those, so 1 and 2 into the exact same space. So now we've kind of completed the repeat, and we're just going to repeat this all the way along your foundation chain. So we've just done our rise, and we now need to do our dip. So do 1 treble crochet into the next 3 chain spaces, 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to create our dip. So to create our dip, we're going to do 2 treble crochets together. So yarn over, insert, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2, leaving 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, this leaves 3 loops on the hook, and to complete, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And we need to do 1 final one of these to create our dip. There we have our second dip, and we're going to do 1 treble crochet into the next 3 chain spaces, just as normal. So coming to the end of this row, because I've only done a sample piece, it is quite small. So if you have done a blanket or something different, then go ahead and pause the video and work this stitch all the way to the end. Remember, 1 treble crochet in the 3 chains, then to create your dip is 2 decreases, then 3 double crochets in the next 3, then 2 increases, and so on and so on. And when you come to the end of your foundation chain, you should be left with 1 final chain space. And to do this, we're just going to work a increase, which is 2 treble crochets into that very same chain space. So wherever you are in your work, at the very end, all you need to do is create an increase, which is 2 treble crochets. So pause the video and work this all the way to the end, and we'll move on to row 2. So row 2 is worked exactly the same way. So we begin with a chain 3, which does count as our first treble. And we're going to do an increase into this first stitch. So this counts as our first treble, and then into that very same stitch underneath that chain 3, we're going to work a treble crochet. Some people get a little bit confused at this point, but just remember that at the beginning and at the end, you're going to do an increase. So chain 3 and work a treble crochet into that first stitch, and this just keeps our edges nice and straight. So now we're going to work down to our dip again. So do 1 treble crochet into each stitch for 3. So 1, 2 and 3, and you should reach your dip. Now you should be 1 ahead. So if you can see, in our first row we had a decrease and a decrease, and we're working our next decrease into this stitch and this stitch here. So don't get confused and keep treble crocheting until you reach the decrease, because that will make your work a little bit uneven and a little bit mismatched. So just make sure that you do 3 treble crochets, and then you're going to work your decrease. So treble crochet 2 together, leaving those on the hook, and pull through all 3. And there we've just worked our first decrease. And then for our second decrease is the exact same thing. And then we need to work up to our rise, so do 3 treble crochets, 2 and 3, and we're working our increases into the 2 middle. So if you can see, in our first row we did 2 increases, so 1 and 2, and we've just worked our third and final treble into the second stitch of our second increase, but we're working our next 2 increases into these 2 stitches here. So do 2 treble crochets into those stitches. So it may be a little bit confusing, but don't worry, just come back and watch the video again, or make sure you count that you're doing 3, and you count that you're doing 2, and you count that you're decreasing by 2. And you shouldn't get lost if you do a little bit of concentrating. So the next thing is you're going to do 3 trebles all the way down to that dip, treble crochet 2 together, treble crochet 2 together, and pull through all 3, and then 3 trebles again, and you want to keep repeating this until you reach the end of row 2. I have actually reached the end of row 2 because I've done a small sample piece, and you should end up with your chain 3 at the beginning of the round, but all you want to do is just work and increase into that chain 3. So just do 2 trebles into that chain 3 and you will have completed your work. So I'm going to work a few more rows in this just so that you can see how it looks. If you want to change colour, the traditional way of changing colour is after every 2 rows, but I'm just going to continue with this yarn just for a little bit of simple reasons, just like this one, and you should end up with a nice ripple effect. So continue on your project and I will meet you at the end. So everybody, I am just going to leave this swatch here. I'm going to chain 1 and cut off my yarn and pull through just so that it's tight. So I hope you enjoyed this video today. I hope you learned how to create the ripple effect. I do actually want to do a blanket on this, which is a project that I'm going to work on in the future. But thank you all for watching. Don't forget to click like if you enjoyed this, and also subscribe to my channel for more stitch videos and project videos, and comment down below what other videos you'd like to see, because I really don't know what people want to see and what people enjoy. So I hope you enjoyed today, and join me tomorrow for a bit of a chat, bit of a crochet and chat, if you'd like to see that. So thank you for watching. Goodbye.